Republicans can only make this a race for a few obvious reasons. First of all, people are hurting, confused, and mad. And they got a right to be mad because they're hurting and confused. They hire Democrats to fix things, so when they don't feel fixed, they're vulnerable.
Okay, a little closer so I can hear you.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
You just here to see Bill, kind of?
Kind of.
Okay.
He's a nutcase.
He's a nutcase?
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Have you always been a Democrat? Have you always
been a Democrat.
Always been a Democrat? Why do you like Jack Conway?
He's got a good record as Attorney General. Excellent record. He's very intelligent. And he's not Rambo.
I'm just very tired of not being represented in Washington by either of my senators. And I have written letters, called both Senate offices, and I get any kind of real respectful response. And I know Jack Conway personally, and I think I will get him to listen to me.
Sure.
I'm not sure what the biggest issue in this campaign is, but for me the biggest issue is education.
Education?
Yes.
Do you think we're spending enough in education?
No.
What do you think we should be spending?
Well, I don't know dollar amounts, but I think that we must support teachers, and we must do a better job of getting their salaries equitable.
Right. You know how much we're currently spending by any chance?
No, I don't. I know.
But we should be
salary
spending
scale.
more.
Right.
Do you think we're spending enough on education?
No.
How much do you think we should be spending?
Dollar-wise, I have no idea, but we could never spend enough on education.
So you said competition. Do you think everyone should be on the same system, or do you think that it should be other private insurance with the public option?
If there was a public option, I'd be more satisfied if there'd be competition with the private insurance, who I don't trust.
Right. What do you think the reason for the healthcare costs in America being so high is?
Private insurance.
Private insurance? Think they're just overcharging people? Okay. Why do you think that medical care is so expensive?
Insurance companies.
Insurance companies?
Premiums, right? Insurance companies, yeah. And the doctors. Doctors are getting too rich.
What do you think about the healthcare bill that was passed in Congress?
I think it's a good start.
I don't know. I think, I like the whole public health care thing, but I think it shouldn't just be given to everybody.
Yeah, people should maybe pay for it.
I mean, there's some people who need it, but the people who need it the most are the ones getting the worst benefits from it.
Is healthcare important to you?
Healthcare is very important to me.
Do you agree with the healthcare legislation that was passed by the Senate and in the House this year by Congress?
It doesn't go far enough. But
Doesn't go far enough?
I agree that we need to find a way to provide health care to everyone.
Why do you think the healthcare is so high? Healthcare costs.
Pharmaceutical companies are making a lot of money.
They are. Okay. What do you think we should do about that? Maybe to get that down.
Well, I think we've got to go to some sort of national health care.
Full national instead of what we passed, the watered down.
Yes.
Do you think doctors are making too much?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Perhaps.
Okay.
They're making more than teachers.
Yeah. National debt. Does national debt concern you any?
Not now, but I'm sure it will be.
Do you know what the national debt is by any chance?
No, I have no idea.
It's around $13.5 trillion.
Yeah, so that's ridiculous. I think.
That means are you a taxpayer?
Yeah.
You are? That'd be $120,000 for you if and every single taxpayer if we were to pay that off. So does that maybe concern you now?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have that much money.
That's good. About the national debt, is that of any concern to you guys, or?
I don't really get why people get so upset about it.
Do you know what it is by any chance?
No, and I don't know that it's even a real number.
What about the national debt? Does that concern you at all?
Yes, very much.
What do you think we should do to maybe solve that problem?
I think we have to get back to where we were in the Clinton years. I think we have to get back to a balanced budget.
A balanced budget. So you think Congress should maybe start spending less, or do you think that we should What do you think we should do about that?
Or
About balance
spending less or spending differently, perhaps.
differently? What do you think should be cut in order to? Maybe,
Well, I think we have to think hard about the money we spend on war and
on war?
and on wars fought on other countries for their. I'm not sure we can afford that.
Right. What about the national debt? Does that really concern you?
Yeah, it does.
How do you think we should tackle that problem?
Well, I understand if we cut off the Bush tax cuts, that would be a savings there of trillions of dollars. The military budget is extremely bloated.
Think we should lower the military budget?
The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, just
Yeah.
horrendous charts are national debt.
I think that is of concern. But and the way Rand Paul wants to have it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's like no taxes, cut spending. Well, we're not going to get there that way.
What do you think about the bailouts then, given the budget crisis that we have?
Well, I have a problem with bailing out large corporations and not bailing out education.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Or things that are of public interest.
What about the bailouts? Because those are really rich companies that got those bailouts. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, I think some mistakes were made. AIG, I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
They are getting some of it back, but something had to be done. At least Obama had the courage to try and do something.
Right. Do you think that capitalism helps or hurts our economy?
Well, it's a capitalist economy. I would be for a combination of capitalism and socialism.
Yeah.
You know, where sure, capitalism drives the economy, but we also need to take care of so many that are left behind, and we need to, serve them to help bring them up. For education, et cetera, et cetera.
What do you think about the stimulus bill that was passed by Congress? Do you think that has helped the economy?
Yes, I think it has. Not everything was perfect. It's hard to do something quick enough to have an impact.
Right.
Maybe making a few mistakes. But I think without that stimulus package, we'd still be in a recession.
Right. Well,
I don't mean a recession. We are in a recession.
Right.
A depression.
Now, if you all being here today, I think it means that you all want to keep the extremists from taking over our country, doesn't it? It also means that you all care about creating jobs in this country. It might mean that you just want to see Bill Clinton. And the other thing I want to mention that this Democratic Congress has done so much for is education in this country. Higher education is absolutely critical. We talk about jobs. We talk about the importance of jobs. But we're not going to be able to compete, folks, in the future in this global economy if we don't educate our young people. We have got to do it. We've got to spare no expense to do it. It's critical. They try to tell you that somehow Democrats are responsible for that. We're not that stupid, are we? Surely not. We know what happened. We know we had 8 years of failed policies under the Bush administration. That cost our economy. That's why we're in the state we're in now. And we're working like crazy to get us out of it. And we're going to get us out of it. And we're going to create jobs all across this country. You can just count on it.
And you know what? We Democrats and we Kentuckians sometimes, we're not all that great at talking about our values. But in this race, it's time to talk about our values. As Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I've literally traveled through the eastern part of this state and have had parents crying on my shoulder because their children have overdosed from OxyContin. Rand Paul has stood up and said that drugs aren't a pressing issue in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and he would end all federal assistance for treatment and interdiction. He doesn't share our values. Rand Paul went on national cable TV in 40 of the most painful and embarrassing moments that I've ever seen. He did. And we can laugh now, but y'all know what he did. He questioned fundamental provisions of the Civil Rights Act. Folks, those are issues we settled 50 years ago. Not only did he question fundamental provisions of the Civil Rights Act, he's taken money from white separatists, and when I said give it back, he said no. He doesn't share our values. You know, Rand Paul has stood up and said he's against and would seek to abolish the Americans with Disabilities Act. Folks, we have 12,000 new disabled veterans in the Commonwealth of Kentucky since 9/11. What would Rand Paul say to those people? He'd say, just take your office on the first floor.